All right, howdy, welcome back to Windley Mania, the greatest podcast you never heard of, brought to you by the greatest band that you have never heard of, that band being Windley, baby, at Windley_band. You have to follow it on all the socials. That's right.
Yes.
It's a new year this year, isn't it?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It is
Happy
brand new year.
2024.
Yeah.
And
it's not 2023. No more.
No, that's right. No, that's correct. And we're starting it off with a fucking bang, baby.
We are.
In a few weeks, we're playing that show at Fresh Brewed.
We absolutely
January
are.
26th.
The year really begins.
The year begins January 19th.
Yeah.
With Scenes from a Hat. But comes out.
It will be available everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere you can listen.
So.
And you can still pre-order your tape through the link.
We are
on
a
our
couple of
tree.
fucking whores.
Yes.
Starting this off. This fucking
Yes.
buy it.
Come to the show, buy it.
Yeah, but anyways, who am I this time? I'm fucking Baby New Year, Andrew Reidner, and with me as always, man's best friend, Devin Hopkins.
I guess, New Year, same me.
Same old dog.
I guess
dirty
so.
dog.
Yeah. Filthy canine.
But hey, it's all right. So get this.
Yeah.
We're recording right now. It's not actually the new year.
Oh man.
It's right now. It's December 30th, 2023. Still,
you lied to
fucking
me.
sucks. Blows. Hate it. But this is a wonderful time of year. It's a very wonderful time of year because you get Christmas, perhaps. Mm-hmm. You get Hanukkah, perhaps.
Yeah.
You get the fucking New Year. But also, for me personally, and for I imagine you and our very special guest for this Windley Mania of the 2024, the first one. Wrestling.
Yeah.
I love the wrestling, man. It's something we talk about sometimes on the Windley Mania. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I don't want to get into it too much.
Because we're about to really get into it.
Because we're about to get really into it. But the thing is, it's like, who the fuck cares usually? Because in the context of most conversations we have on Windley Mania, it's like, I can't be going on about fucking, like, All Japan attendance or some bullshit like that. Like, no one cares. But this is the time of the year when I could fucking
cut loose.
Just
be
spread my fucking
self.
wings. It's the end of the year, baby. Tokyo Dome's right around the corner. We got some shows all over there. We got a show tonight actually that we're gonna watch. The World's End.
We're about to watch AEW.
The world's about to end.
The world's about to end tonight. so maybe this podcast.
Maybe
comes
no
out.
New Year. Huh?
Yeah. Maybe no New Year. Maybe this is the last year.
But it's an exciting year because it's you get to reflect, and I love reflecting on the wrestling that's happened. You get I'm a subscriber to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and I love trying to figure out what I'm gonna vote for the awards, and of course, the most prominent award maybe for some, the match of the year.
Yeah.
So it's I have a great time throughout the year, writing in my little notebook.
Yeah, you keep track of everything.
Writing my little notebook of matches I thought were really great, and then I get to fucking decide what I thought the top 10 were. Mm-hmm.
See, I only watched 10 wrestling matches this year.
so you got to figure it out.
This was very easy for me.
But our guest today, who's also going to join us, he was here a couple times, three-timer club here in the
Windley Mania champion.
I rely on him for the wrestling. It's our pal Anthony from Pro Wrestling Proverbs up there in Detroit. Hey, Anthony.
Detroit
Rock
guys.
City.
Hey, Andy and Devin.
How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me on again. I love being on Windley Mania. I love listening to Windley Mania. But only request I have for today.
Oh no.
I don't want nothing going up my ass.
You're very far away, so I mean,
Yeah. I think Christmas is past enough.
Remind me to never go to South Carolina during the holidays. I'll never go.
It's terrible. Something's
based
always
based on the experience. Like, you just have bugs flying around, getting the naughty out of people. No, thank you.
Yeah, fortunately,
for this episode.
The holidays have passed, and I think we've vanquished the enemy.
Yeah, until next year.
Until next year, hopefully, we'll see what happens.
So hopefully it's through.
Yeah,
but you never know.
You never know.
So Anthony, real quick, I did mention notebooks.
Yeah.
And matches.
Yes.
and then we're going to be talking about our top 10 pro wrestling matches, each of us going through it, just like me and Anthony did last year, just like I did in 2021 with the Winley Hub.
Yes.
With yeah. Here's my source for this. Here's my little notebook, the Pro Wrestling Proverbs Logan's Scriptures. Now, I haven't updated it since October. I have a spreadsheet on my computer that's a little easier to access, but so yeah, I got all my matches, got most of my matches in here, so we're gonna be doing good.
What does it say on the back?
It says awesome. It's what should have been the good book.
What could be?
Because on their show, the Logan Scriptures is Logan's sort of fantasy books. What he thinks, how like they did Sting's final match. They did Anthony. You're on the show. How he tell? What were the other ones?
You're doing pretty good. I think we did Goldberg's last match. Okay. I remember like the first one we did. We did like some crazy thing where like we brought the territories back, like in modern day, and like how that would work out.
That's fun.
He does a lot of crazy ones. Those are episodes where I kind of just hit record. I help do the intro, and then I just like mute my mic and sit back and just listen to him talk for 25 minutes, and then but I have to pay attention because sometimes he would just randomly ask me a question like out of nowhere, and I'm like I have to like oh wait, I have to act like I knew like what I'm talking about, but I'm kind of just like listening to a show at that point.
I requested.
Awesome. You have one, and I don't even have one. I don't even have a logo.
You gotta get one. You gotta get lines.
You believe that?
Though. Next time you put one out,
all I have is the dumb T-shirts.
No lines.
No lines.
No lines. That's okay. I requested you guys to book Nick Wayne's last match in the year like 2057 or something.
I can try to squeeze that in this year. You know, we got a lot of content planned for the new year, Andy. I don't know if I can fit that in.
Oh yeah,
but I'll send a message out. Maybe we'll April Fool's Day, Nick Wayne 2057, last match.
So, Anthony, can you let's go through some ups and downs of 2023. You might argue more downs, but but depending on your perspective of things, but Anthony, what did you think about this year in terms of pro wrestling?
I was listening to our show from last year, and I said something that now sounds really dumb. I said that 2023 be hard to top 2022 in terms of like wrestling, like stories, matches, whatever. But I think it definitely has, specifically like within like the first like 4 months of the year. Just like wrestling quality rise. A lot of my matches here, and just did like a little preview of my top 10. Most of them come like before April. If you want to think about it.
Okay.
But yeah, wrestling news wise.
A lot happened. A lot has happened.
Yeah, it's
a lot happened.
It's a lot is there's stuff in the news today that we do not have to touch.
Yeah, I don't feel
because it's all kind of just up in the air. Yeah. But there is even today coming up on the final days of the year. There is like some, I guess turmoil.
Yeah,
we got Harvey Weinstein in AEW now.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
I thought you were talking about Kaz Hayashi.
All speculation.
Kaz Hayashi's retiring in July.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Japanese legend Kaz Hayashi. He's retiring in July.
Well, damn.
How about that? That was the big news I saw. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So
I don't know either. That's what I was talking about too.
What about you, Devin? What do you think this year? You have a good time?
I had a good time. I didn't, I kept track as much as I usually do, meaning that I didn't watch as much as I planned on.
Sure,
but I enjoyed a lot of what I watched, and there were some crazy things that happened news-wise throughout the year that we all know about. But I thought it was pretty solid.
Wow.
Very insightful.
Very lukewarm.
Yeah. Very lukewarm.
No opinion. You're just here for the fucking vibes, huh?
Dude, I
could respect that. I wish I was like that.
Yeah, I like to watch the guys hit each other.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, I wish I just... And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do going in next year, is just letting fucking just good shit rise to the top. Kind of like just stay away from any fucking miserable discourse. Because you
go balls deep in all that stuff, and I don't. I watch a couple shows a week, and then I'll watch the pay-per-views, and then you'll say, "Hey, we should watch you," and then you'll send me say, "Hey, watch this," and then I'll usually watch it, and I'm like, "That's pretty cool." Okay, and then that's my relationship with watching wrestling. Yeah. I'm just like, this is cool.
To be like that,
to be like that. Yeah. Like so many, like me. I think me and Andy are probably in the same boat, and like a lot of other wrestling fans, we just sit here and just overanalyze everything, and it gets so tiring.
I see so much of the discourse on like Twitter and some on Facebook, and it's just like, come on, just like.
And I do take all that stuff with like a grain of salt, because that is not like what you see on the internet is not a representation of
anything,
every fan or every person on the whole.
Like anything else that has a fandom, like there's going to be like the shit that you see is going to the shit that people are mad about is going to be seen first, because that's what's getting people talking. So rage bait.
Bait. B-A-T-E.
Yeah. You like to rage bait?
You're the master of it, dude.
Yeah, you're the master of rage baiting.
So, what are your expectations for next year, there, Anthony? For any bold predictions?
Well, I think I gotta say it. I don't know if 2024 can top 2023. I don't know, but like I'm gonna say that, and like Bret Hart's gonna wrestle a match or something next year, and I'll be wrong.
Fucking know.
But nothing crazy. I have this conversation with Logan all the time, especially a couple of years ago when AEW was so hot, like especially like around like the summer of 2021, and WWE was kind of like pestering along there, and I was like, I know it seems like AEW is like the hottest thing going right now, but like that momentum can swing like at any time, and it kind of did essentially, especially with the fallout of Brawl Out and the fire in there and all the talent leaving, a bunch of backstage personnel leaving AEW. It seems like a lot of wrestling fans are kind of soured on the brand, but like that can all change within like 6 months. Like, all it takes is a couple good months of good press, good matches, and then something can always happen in WWE, and that momentum can always switch. Mm-hmm. So, but I expect a good year wrestling overall. I just really hope. My biggest hope, like I said, is for AEW to just kind of get out of this fog of funk they're in right now. It seems like every week, like there's something going on over there. Like not even in the ring. Like the in-ring stuff has always been great there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like most of my matches are AEW matches. But it just seems like backstage every week, there's just something going on, like we just talked about a little bit earlier, something like this potentially coming out this week. Before we have like an EVP's wife leaving, saying that her husband isn't being protected in the public. We have wrestlers fighting backstage seemingly every other month. People get suspended. It's a crazy world over there. And I just hope Tony Khan kind of gets a hold of it. That's my biggest wish for 2024, at least.
I feel like the thing with the backstage stuff is like that's just the reality. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of a pro wrestling company.
It's just there's so much publicity around it.
Yeah,
because I mean, every company's going to go through that stuff, but like they're still kind of newish.
Yeah, but that's not even
they're like kind of growing up in the public eye all the time.
That's not even like my major like gripe with the promotion. Like throughout the year, like. I feel like AEW was always something I kept at an arm's length just because of my personal taste and how I kind of view just like major American wrestling television, especially in like the modern sense, as far as it's like you have like the Raw format and then like how other shows tried to copy that. And then even AEW going so far and having their tonal shift starting around like sometime in the spring with you have like these guys like Tony Storm, for example, just latching on to like some fucking wacky character, and that's just the thing. It's like a 90s throwback caricature. The MJF stuff, the
brochacho,
the fucking derivative of a old school like WWF champion with the fucking catchphrases and stuff, the dumb fucking this is stuff that I personally didn't care for, and a lot of that I felt like was taking over a lot of like the promotion in a sense, and you got away from a lot of stuff like just like the work rate shit that I want to see, and
it stopped feeling like an alternative,
and we got back with that with the fucking C2, which I appreciate, and I hopefully into the new year they stay consistent with presenting something that's along those lines. As a sports-based presentation,
which I have seen that is apparently the move, but I guess only time will tell. Because I dig that stuff more too. I mean, you can throw a little bit of goofball stuff in there just to make me laugh.
There's with any promotion, there's going to be stuff that you do not like, and I completely accept that.
Or there's just some stuff that's like, okay, it's good to have a little break, and maybe Danhausen does something funny.
When the ethos of the company is to be an alternative to something, I'd rather it try to stick to that ethos and be an alternative as opposed to, well, it works over here. They're doing something that they've been good at for 20 years, the sports entertainment thing. Their fans aren't going to go and try to find an alternate to sports entertainment. Mm-hmm. AEW needs to be the alternate to that and do some fucking graps, dude. Come on. I'm not asking for Kaz Hayashi shit, but I'm asking for just get back to what it was. And I know there's like the whole restore the feeling thing and stuff like that, but it's just, let's just fucking do it as opposed to talking about it. Let's just fucking get in there and do it. And again, I'm still at arm's length about it just because it's like
anything can happen.
I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I'm skeptical, but I'd like it to, just because it'd be cool to have, what it was, a major alternative place where people can go and make some real money and do pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So that's just my overall thoughts about it. So, was there anything else, Devin, or Nancy?
I just wanted to the AEW does like the silly shit too, just as good. I'd say even better. Like Orange Cassidy, like you said, Danhausen earlier.
Yeah, it's not out of their. It's not out of the their equation. It's just it was some of that shit was more prominent than it really needed to be, in my opinion. But
and
it hurt them. It hurt them. MJF wasn't fucking moving barely any tickets. I mean, if you look at the show, like I'm not doing like the whole fucking like take a picture of the empty arena before people get there. I'm talking about if you look at the tickets and shit like that. I mean, it wasn't that. MJF Adam Cole stuff wasn't drawing so
no. Yeah, they have such a stacked roster. Like I don't know how they're not putting out like banger main event every single week. Like that's just, how's that just not like happening? Like with the talent they have, I know people need time off, obviously. But if I was running it, no time off. You get no time off. You're working every week, buddy. Fucking clock in.
Looking at you, Adam Page.
Yeah.
Fucking God.
I don't care if you're hurt or not. You're getting out there.
So, was there anything else you boys wanted to touch on before we get into it?
Nothing really.
Nothing?
Yeah, you said.
I think we're passing up the biggest news story of the year. Mm-hmm. You didn't even talk about. Well, depending on your viewpoint, but WWE isn't a privately owned company anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was a big thing.
Or I'm sorry, like a family owned company.
Yeah, that's true.
They got bought out by TKO, which I think in the long run might be something they might regret, because once you get it out of the family, like the McMahon family, like who knows what happens like 15 years from now.
Isn't he still
like, does TKO just have like a
running things though?
Yeah, he's still there, but he's not like he has to answer to someone else. So
yeah, and he like his time there is limited anyway. Like he's already on the way out of there. Like as soon as they can get him out, he's gone. Like they don't want him there, and like plus also I'm just talking about like 15, 20 years from now. Like he might be dead by then. I don't know. but once they have that control, like what if TKO just runs out of money and then they have to sell it to somebody else?
Disney.
And
yeah,
who now you have like no control anymore, and I feel like that's gonna be a big thing.
Well, again,
for our children.
For children. I mean,
I'm all for Disney buying WWE so I can ride the Undertaker.
Oh, me too.
Oh hell yeah!
I was all for it. That's what I was rooting for to buy it.
Let's fantasy book.
We get like Marvel crossovers.
Yeah,
and like
they've done it with
like Darth Vader versus Brock Lesnar or something.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless. There's gonna be a WWE theme park in 30 years, and we're all gonna go there.
I'll go.
Dude,
sure.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I'd get like one of those Disney passes that they sell to the Florida residents. I'd somehow find one to buy one. Find
the
a way to buy
magic
one
key
in Michigan and go every day.
The magic key. There's different tiers to the magic key, of course. You have the dream key. But yeah, I mean, that place has so much fucking money. I mean, it's been like that for a while, where it's like what they book doesn't fucking matter. It's like their big shows are going to draw in the sense of, hey, it's WrestleMania, we're going to go to the WrestleMania. They're guaranteed so much fucking money where shit just does not matter. I mean, you look at with the fucking who's the next guy for Roman? Like who's going to beat Roman? They don't fucking know.
Yeah.
They have no fucking idea. Yeah. And I took a fucking chance on that at WrestleMania, and I made I had some units in my pocket because of it, because I fucking knew that there was something smelled fishy.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all my thoughts on that, really.
That's all your thoughts on
that?
that?
I'm not going to go into that. But anyways.
That's a different podcast.
Yeah.
That's Gambling Andy's podcast.
I'd love to be on that podcast with you, Andy. Just talking about gambling. I'm a degenerate myself, so
hell yeah. Got some action tonight on the World's End. Anyways, was there anything else?
I think I've said a little bit that I know.
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I'm all set now.
Appointed a president.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
We don't have to get into that. That's I mean, he's gonna be a figurehead. There's you can read all about it. There's Heat with Abari or something. I don't fucking know. Let's do matches. How about that? Who won? Devin. Let's do a Windley sandwich here. So we'll do Devin, Anthony.
Okay.
And fucking I'll go last.
Okay. So my number 10 is Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo. I've had like 3 beers at AEW Dynamite. That was March 22nd of this year. I did not know who El Hijo del Vikingo is. I did it again.
That was your first time seeing him?
That was my first time seeing that dude, and it blew me the fuck away. So like I got online and just looked up some more of his matches, and I was like enthralled by that dude. Like that was crazy. Just like that was probably the first time a lot of people saw him.
Yeah,
I imagine.
I think so.
And he's the AAA mega champion at the time. I think he still is.
Yeah, we won't get into it. Their titles don't matter that much over there.
Okay, because that wasn't a title match either. But that was my number 10 of this year. I mean, I had a hard time kind of ranking everything because I mean they're all my favorite.
They're all your favorite.
All 10 are my number 1.
That's fair.
All 10 of these matches are my number 1.
You know, actually, I should have done this beforehand. So we had this discussion the other day where it's like not technically the end of the year.
Yeah.
The Observer Awards rules just came out, and he is now doing it from the 1st to the 31st. So I was misremembered. He must have did this in like 2016 or 2017, where it cut off like on the fucking November 30th or something. But in my brain, I usually cut off around the time, just because of 2018 or the last Road to Tokyo Dome show. So, and then Final Gate. Mm-hmm. So that it depends on what's going on contextually throughout the year is when I cut off the period of the grading. Fair. So anyways, that was kind of, no one really needed to know that, I guess, but we established. Did you
do your list based on your old knowledge, or is it all from this year?
It's from this year, obviously.
Okay.
But
well, you said that like it ran from like the November of.
I have a match from 2019 actually.
yeah. I have one that I could throw in.
Well, I don't know. Maybe someone would have been curious about like what the grading period is, because I see people throw their grading periods on. I've been filling out some forms for match of the year, and I see the grading periods, and they're all fucking different. So
okay.
But yeah, Kenny Omega versus Vikingo.
Yeah, Vikingo. I can just
That was on the Dynamite.
That was Dynamite, March 22nd.
Is that in Missouri?
I didn't write that down. I just wrote down the dates and what the show was and whether or not it was a title match and also who won.
Okay. Yeah. Anthony, did you watch that? You remember that match?
I think I saw highlights of it. A lot of my wrestling watching now is through social media and YouTube. So I do remember that match, and I'll let you know I can't say his name sober, let alone 3 beers. So
Vikingo,
you did a pretty good job.
No, I love the Vikingo. I mean, he's a fucking like the commander match at was that Super Card of Honor?
I didn't watch all of Super Card of Honor.
Oh, it was like the opening match. That shit rocked.
I did. I think I saw a couple clips of that though.
Black Tor. Was it Black Torbs? It was just the other.
He was on
week.
recent. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a guy that he does fucking like amazing shit. But he's also a guy where they do this like incredible shit, but it's rarely is it seen, especially with Vikingo, more in his case than anything, just like connecting the dots in a match. If that makes sense, like actually going through and kind of like working a match,
telling a story with his work.
Well, I don't give a fuck about stories. Fuck that shit. But fucking grabbing onto a fucking arm or some shit, working on a fucking arm match or something. I haven't really seen that stuff from him, but he does the incredible fucking high flying shit.
So shit that I like.
Yeah, it doesn't really fucking matter, I guess. You would just hope that like this guy's so young, and for him to see him like progress to be a top guy, to be able to work one of those matches as well.
I saw him. He had a match with Kip Sabian recently, and I've never given a shit about Kip Sabian. I've never given a shit about him.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was a good match.
It was Vikingo.
It was Vikingo. Made me give a shit about.
He probably was just like, "Hey,
match.
Kip, can you stand still right here, and I'll just fucking bounce around."
I think he did a couple cool things too, but like, I was like, just like, that's cool that like. That guy got me interested in someone I've never given a shit about.
I'm a Kip respecter, but not an enjoyer. If that makes sense, because he does
the work.
Well, he does the work. He was there during the fucking the pandemic. He was there every week. So yeah, right on.
He clocked in.
I feel like that's going to be on some top 10s. Yeah,
yeah.
So
that's those are my thoughts on my top 10.
Let me adjust my headphones, but Anthony, you can go ahead.
I did not write a lot of notes regarding each of my like matches, so I'm kind of going to be like off the cuff, trying to remember details of each match.
That's okay. It's okay.
And you'll also kind of see my taste just through these matches, because a lot of the same shit.
Some Devin's taste.
Devin's taste.
Yeah. My
curated taste.
Yeah. What about Anthony for number 10?
For some reason, my little brother really loves like Kip Sabian. I don't know why. I tried to talk him out of it, but he was really excited when he was doing like the bag gimmick.
I remember that thing sucked.
Don't get your hopes up, kid.
I remember all that.
Oh, you remember when he was like yelling at the head? He was doing the Al Snow thing.
He was doing the Al Snow thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The head was like talking to him and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember you last year, Andy, because I just listened to that episode like a day or two ago. Get ready for this one. You in your number 10 spot, you put something kind of sentimental towards you.
Vanity. It was a vain pick.
Vanity. Yeah, it was a vanity pick.
Yeah.
This ain't really that vanity. I wanted my first two. I wanted to put for something that I was there for. So for my number 10. Also, by the way, because I knew, Andy, when you came onto our show, you were a resident Japan expert. So I'm leaving it on to you to put all the Japan matches on your list. So all mine are strictly United States.
Oh shit! Okay.
I hope that's okay.
I know I fucking love Japan.
Your old Japandy over there.
Japandy.
Yeah, Japandy.
What was your number 10?
Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
Right. Oh, which one? Didn't they do 2, or was that the Puerto Rico?
SummerSlam. SummerSlam.
I guess you weren't there in Puerto Rico, but
no, I was not.
The SummerSlam. So, yeah. Go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just. said, probably not cracking many people's top 10s ever or for the year. Like, it wasn't like an awesome fucking match, but it was just being there. Listening live,
the live bump.
I don't know if
I
you
imagine
listened
seeing
to the show that we did on it.
Crazy.
We got a suite for that show, so we got like catered food and all this other shit.
Wow.
And like free drinks. So it was like the most awesome experience. That was like the first like big match of the night, and I was hyped for it. I was all there. I was all in. I wanted Cody to win. I did the whoa during the entrance. Other than that, don't remember much about the match, but I remember going whoa, and then I'm shaking hands at the end. That's I was having a good time.
Adrenaline in my soul, something Cody Rhodes.
Then Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Did you do the Cody Vader? I didn't watch.
Oh yeah, I remember when he used to. Yeah, he used to fucking.
Did he do the
I think he
Cody
still
Vader?
does that, right? Does he fucking rise up? I can't remember the last Cody match. Well, no, I watched the Roman one.
He just shows. He's just like standing in the back of the stage, and they shoot fireworks at him. Then he walks out.
Okay.
I remember hearing
He's
about
like,
the pyro thing, like when he was doing it in AEW, like the pyro team kind of did it just to mess with him. Because like he's like, I didn't ever ask for that much pyro when I was there, but they just kind of did it to fuck with him. I guess because he was like the EVP or whatever. So
Yeah.
but that's cool though. I imagine seeing that match in real life would be crazy. Like seeing Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of anybody in real life, I would be like, okay, yeah, that's a top any moment of my life. I think.
Yeah, I've
I
always liked
thought he
Brock,
was gonna like start charging the crowd and start just taking people out. You never know.
Yeah, Brock is he feels different over there, and he's like actually like a special attraction.
Yeah.
In a sense, he's a weird guy, but he's a guy.
I like his video of him doing his impression of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I forgot what podcast it was, but he was talking about what he hunts for on his farm or whatever. And he's just like listening to a bunch of animals. He's like, we got some fucking bison, fucking deer, fucking turkeys.
Yeah.
He just kept going.
What?
What?
All right.
What?
Take a sip.
Take a swig before you go on your manifesto about your number 10.
Yes, my number 10.
Swig of water for the working man.
My number 10 match of the year for the year of 2024 or 2023. What fucking
you're time traveling over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I've the one been drinking.
It's 2023. It comes from March 2nd all the way back in March, the good old spring days. Comes from the Dragon Gate, baby.
Yeah.
It was the Rey de Paris final. In Curican Hall. It was actually the third Rey de Paris tournament. And it used to be a tag tournament, and it was like in 2003 and 2004, and then they brought it back this year. And the match was Madoka Kakuta and Yuki Yoshioka versus Susumu Mochizuki and Yasushi Kanda.
Ah, those guys.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Those guys I've heard.
Yeah.
Well, those guys, Susumu and Kanda were actually the first tag team established in Torimon history, and they would wrestle. It was like 1999. It was like really like right when Torimon started, and they would wrestle together in Mexico as well in IWRG, and they were part of the original M2K. Now they're M3K now.
I've heard of M3K.
Well, Mochizuki Jr. and he's joined up, but they were against D-Courage, which is like they've been the main characters of the promotion in a sense. Kakuto going on this was his year, started at Dead or Alive with the Dreamgate, their top championship over there. But this was the finals of this tournament, and it was mainly about seeing if these old guys, the first team, can really hang with the new guys, and they fucking did, dude.
That's sick.
I've like Yasushi Kanda is like a guy that's like so middle of the road for me, but like here he's just like fucking giving it his all. He's like it's like one of those like I really get invested in like just like fiery babyface performances, and not necessarily they weren't working heel, but they were definitely coming off as a really powerful threat to the M3K team. There's a lot of criticism with Yoshioka, who had his like Dreamgate run last year, and you could kind of see some of his flaws, especially since losing the title. And there's honestly like a couple sloppy points in the match from him. But I mean, I think it's just me being invested in Susumu and Kanda as a tag team, and especially Susumu. He's like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But it's probably my favorite tag team match of the year. I mean, I think obviously it is where it places, but I don't know, man. It was fucking sick. It was seeing how long they could fucking survive. Yeah. They didn't survive. But they won the Twin Gate championship later on the year. And they had there's another match I was considering against Kano and Suji Kondo. But yeah, that's
always
10.
cool to see when like a kind of, I guess, like a legend, like older tag team can still hold their own with some younger guys.
Yeah.
That's always really cool.
Yeah. So, Devin, number 9.
Number 9. My number 9, I think, is probably the most recent match that I have on my list, which Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. The Texas Death Match at Full Gear. I love that shit. I love a fucking bloody ass match where it's just two dudes that are pissed off each other, beating the shit out of each other. And you'll probably see a couple more of those, spoiler alert, on my list. But I don't know much about like the story-wise what was going on. I know they had a couple matches before that, like on TV. And I guess it, culminated into this at Full Gear recently, and Swerve Strickland won this match, and I don't know if that's it or what, but it was a really cool match, and that was really like, I had seen some Swerve Strickland matches before, but like he really like, I was like really gunning for him in that one. Like that was sick. Like, it was really cool to see him in that kind of match. And he was like stapling himself and like just laughing maniacally. I was like, hell yeah. So good for both of those guys for just beating the shit out of each other and bleeding all over the ring.
I love that
for my entertainment. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shout out to both of them.
Yeah.
I hope they hear this. But good job to both of you.
I love when people drink each other's blood in the ring.
The blood drinking. There's nothing medically wrong with that ever. You can do that and it's healthy. It's good for you.
No. Yeah, I watched Twilight. I know. That's good.
I did not watch all of Full Gear, but I did watch that.
My number 9. Again, same with my number 10. It's a match from when I was there. I know a lot of people say like the Cody Brock Lesnar match was kind of overrated. And I think the same thing could be said about this one. But I was there. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam.
I bet that was sick to see.
Granted, again, don't remember. I was there. I don't remember too much bell to bell. I remember wanting Finn Balor to win really bad. Thinking Damian Priest was going to cash in. I was going to be pissed off about it. Like, am I going to sit here and witness a Damian Priest cash in? Thankfully, that didn't happen. Still a great match. Again, it's just because I was there. Me and Logan were vibing in the stands. I had pizza, and they had like this giant thing of popcorn. There's like this giant bucket of popcorn, and this lady just kept coming like every 15 minutes, just topping it off. And it was my mission to try to like get to the bottom of it before she came back, and it never happened. But Seth versus Finn Balor. Seth Rollins won.
Was a suite a? I gotta watch a fucking show at a suite apparently, because these are like, you end up seeing the greatest matches of the year.
Dude, it's awesome.
It's
awesome.
The only match I remember between them, I don't know how many times they've wrestled. Oh, we saw one of them live. We went to like some of the fucking house shows.
They did a house show match? I was trying to remember if we had seen them before.
But I remember the one where what did he do? Finn Balor like broke his fucking leg or some shit. This was like, fuck. This is like when the Universal title was new.
Well, he was the first Universal Champion, right? I think, and he like broke his leg or whatever and had to vacate it immediately.
Yeah,
like he was champion for a day.
Yeah,
so
that's the only match I remember from them.
That must have been the one.
He broke his collarbone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, that was a wild one.
He did like the power bomb into the thing, and like he like
okay, yeah,
like fucking snapped his shoulder in half. Yeah. So that was a good time. So that was a whole big thing leading into that match. Was like that story. Of
they like brought it back up.
Universal Championship, and it was all
cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Did the audience gasp?
I had a great time that night.
Did the audience gasp when there was a powerbomb attempt? Did they like try to do the spot again?
I did, at least.
Okay. Like, that was funny. Another match.
I gasped. No
freaking.
Don't do it.
Please don't body slam him freaking.
Not freaking.
No.
Not Mr. Freaking.
No.
All right, so my number 9 for 2023 comes from October 12th. This was a match that just popped up on people's radar. It was a small little show coming out of a Shinjuku Face. There's only like 400 people there.
Damn.
A little small venue in Tokyo, which I feel like that's a lot for that building, but most often it's a smaller crowds there. But it just popped up on the radar and people were like, yo, this shit is like match of the decade, which I don't know if I would go that far, but it was definitely like at least one of the 10 best matches that I've watched this year. It was at the Fuminori Abe and Takuya Nomura produce show. We Are Fighting Detectives 2.
That's the name of the show?
Yeah. Of course, it was between the match I'm speaking of is Fuminori Abe versus Takuya Nomura, who together they make up the team, the Astronauts in Big Japan.
I love everything about that.
Yeah, and they're actually, I feel like they're a good contender for like a tag team of the year if you want to watch any of their stuff. Hiroyuki Suzuki and Takuhu Kato. I don't get to say these names out loud as often as I was like back in May. The Yokohama show, the Crazy Lovers match in their tag league final earlier this year. But this match in particular between the two, it was really like much more of like a friendly contest, but it fucking just went to like another gear. Mm-hmm. Like they were just absolutely fucking slamming the shit out of each other and beating each other, like sweat flying, hands slapping. Just the early goings of this match really reminded me of anytime I see like a work ready match in like a Southern Indie.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean like there was like slight comedy between the two just because they're a tag team and there was like chuckling from the crowd, which kind of took some people out of it. I didn't mind because I think I'm just like I'm used to seeing that at live shows, just like joking and people getting in on the joke as well. But then again, it just went to this fucking other gear. It's like under 20 minutes and they're just fucking going at a breakneck pace. Beating the shit out of each other, and it's fucking sick. And the Astronauts, again, a good look at a tag team of the year contender.
Hell yeah.
So that's my number 9.
That's a cool name for him too.
Yeah.
I might be checking that out. Where are we? Number 8?
Number 8, sir.
Number 8 was at Impact's Bound for Glory pay-per-view this year. That was Speedball Mike Bailey versus Bailey. Speedball.
You fucked up a name too, huh?
Mike Bailey versus Will Ospreay.
Hell yeah, dude.
We saw Mike Bailey last year.
I was about to ask you, was that your first time seeing Mike Bailey?
And you turned to me and said, you got to keep an eye on this guy. Yeah, you said you're going to really like this guy when Mike Bailey came out.
Yeah,
and I think you probably mentioned like some other stuff about him. And you told me his story about how he lost his ability to come to the United States to wrestle until like this year.
Well, last year.
But yeah, this match was fucking sick, and I knew it would be as soon as they announced it because I like both of those guys a lot. Really fun match all around. Just two guys beating the shit out of each other. You know? Yeah, that's all I have to say about each of these matches.
Mike Bailey is a guy that I didn't necessarily care for. Like,
I wish he'd wear boots. That's all I got to say about him.
Yeah, I don't like the fucking bare feet.
I just don't like feet.
I don't want to see that shit.
Put your dogs away.
But again, not a guy I necessarily cared for like before his like return, because he fucking came back in 2022 here, and it was just like completely different guy, just a lot more. I don't know how to say it. A lot more cleaner, I think. And again, I wish she'd wear boots as well. But yeah, that match rocked.
Yeah, very sick match. Again, didn't watch the whole pay-per-view, but I did watch that match. And
they put it up on YouTube for free pretty recently.
They did recently.
Yeah,
I had to go. I had to go to some Japanese website to find it. That's where I found a bunch of.
Where'd you go, Billy? That's Chinese.
It might have been. It was. You told me about Billy, but this was a different website that I went to. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
But I was able to find it just by looking up person versus person match full video, and you click videos, and it's like the second page you'll find it.
Okay.
But yeah, that is my number 8.
They're not getting any fucking money from you, huh?
No.
Not even with the rebrand. You don't want nothing to do with TNA.
I will probably watch the new pay-per-view.
Okay.
We'll come over.
Sure. All right. Anthony, your number. You got thoughts about this?
I have a special place in my heart for. Well, just real quick. I have a special place in my heart for TNA Impact. And Mike Billy. Mike Billy did our intro for us.
We did.
That's right. That's right.
So he does.
Number 22. Yeah.
Number 22 of BWP's Top 25 2022, Mike Bailey.
He didn't have any hesitancy for just being number 22.
He didn't have any beef with that. Like, you guys rated him number 22, which I guess is fair. I mean, out of all the wrestlers in the world to be like in the 25, but you know.
What's really messed up is he's not even in our top 25 and I think he had a better year, and he didn't make it. And I feel bad. So, do I still make him the intro? We only used him for like 2 months. But I think But yeah, I have a special place in my heart for TNA Impact. They put us on their media mailing list, so I get like all like their press releases now, which I think is
that's pretty.
Which they didn't have to do. I've been big league by like people like locally here, like that have like nobody going to their shows, and they're like big leaguing me about it. And it fucking Impact's like, yeah, dude, come on this video call with Will Ospreay. I was like, okay,
yeah, they're smart for that. I think.
Yeah, I love them. I'll never say anything bad about Impact or TNA again. But my number 8, controversial. I don't think you like this match, Andy.
Oh, okay.
Based on a comment you made earlier.
Oh,
so we might have to have a little debate. Oh. It's the Roman versus Cody match for me. Anyway.
Oh no, I liked the match. I didn't like. I don't care for the finish. I don't care for the finishes in his big matches because like. The optics wise, it doesn't make any fucking sense how they're like, who can stop him? And then it's like he's cheating. I don't understand. But but I did like the match, and I do like the match even more because he got paid, bro. But go on, yes.
Yeah, I agree with you because I kind of went back and forth on the finish for like even like today. Like I'll look back on it I don't know if I love it. Or if I wanted Cody to win, if I didn't want Cody to win. I don't remember in the moment, I think we had the same thought, was if Cody is not the one to beat Roman at that time, right, with all the momentum going in, especially off the Sami Zayn stuff, and the Usos losing the night before, like, when is the perfect time? Like, when do you have him lose? Because now, like, what's the point of him losing at 40 now? He did nothing all year, right? So if he loses at 40 to Cody, then what was the point of that match? But on the other hand, I love Roman's character. I love the tribal chief shit, head of the table. I'm a sucker for it. I'll admit. I love it. I acknowledge him as a tribal chief. But yeah, if you, I know Roman kind of works like a certain style of championship matches. Now they all kind of like blend together. They all kind of go like the same way. Like, he's dominating, and then the babyface kind of comes back, and then he cheats, or like somebody from the bloodline comes in and helps him win. But and that match has been getting kind of stale recently. But the perfect culmination of that type of match happened at Mania Night 2 against Cody. Like, that's like the perfect style of a Roman title defense, and I loved it. I really thought Cody was going to win, and I was super pissed off at the night. And then I was like, wow, I am really sports entertained right now. This is what sports entertainment is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 8, Roman versus Cody.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Again, I generally liked the match. I mean, I'm not like too excited with that promotion's like house style, but
yeah,
like, and again, the optics of like he's our world champion, he's dominating all these people, but then they present it like he's like this world beater, but then like he's cheating like every single time, and it just doesn't make sense to me. And but anyways, yeah, solid. So my number 8,
but that's like, but that Mania match is like the perfect example of that, and then that's why
that's fair. That's fair. Like
all the rest of them,
the tropes of
besides the other, I have one more on my list. It's actually my next one.
Okay,
but he's only done it really good twice, and when it's happened, it's been great.
Well, I mean, 2 out of 11 matches, it's not. That's actually pretty low average. So, but with the title match tropes, my number 8 is actually I'm really more so invested with it because of some of the tropes of a title match, of specific title match that comes out in it. It was from February 11th, New Japan Pro Wrestling, the New Beginning show in Osaka at the Edion Arena. This is the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match between Kazuchika Okada and Shingo Takagi. This was their 5th singles meeting and the 3rd time for the title. Mm-hmm. 3rd time in Osaka as well. How you feel about that? But this was like the first time that they've wrestled where cheering was allowed in Japan.
I remember you talking about this.
And that added a whole layer. Like, I loved their first match against each other. It was G1 in 2020. Mm. And then their match at the Dome was also excellent. But now with the added like ambiance, I guess, the atmosphere rather, of an Osaka crowd just fucking screaming. And, when Shingo gets in these big spots and, he's in a big building and there's people fucking yelling at him and shit, like he gets into, like, I feel like more people are more familiar seeing him at Forbidden Door and the way he just fucking eats up the fucking crowd. Like, this dude, like, he's also one of my favorite wrestlers. The same thing with Okada as well. He's like a guy with his own aura as well, obviously. Yeah, I just like it was the tropes of an IWGP heavyweight title match. And that being said, it's like the slow build. Sometimes you build off that slow build, working some body parts, and then it fucking crescendos the speed, and then a big closing stretch, and then both of the guys being exhausted, laying on the mat. The fucking the cameras panning over the title. This is what these two guys are fighting for, and and it's just like 2 of the best guys alive right now doing it, and had to throw it on there. And also, I just fucking liked it a lot. So and they fucking beat the shit out of each other. Fucking the fucking Death Valley driver on the fucking floor. The fucking Tombstone pile driver on the fucking floor. Oh my god, yeah, they fucking Shingo rocks, dude. But yeah, Devin, let's move on to number 7.
Number 7, Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite.
Which
that was Anarchy in the Arena.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What can I say?
What can I say
about any time Jon Moxley's in the ring with anybody? He's gonna beat the shit out of you. And they just a bunch of guys beating the shit out of each other. And I like that shit. I'm trying to speed run because I know that like.
No, we're good, dude. Fucking take your time. Take your time, dude. Talk about the match. Talk about what you liked about it.
I liked everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any spots in your mind that you remember? Remember the band? That was the one with the band.
The band. And I had said someone's gonna kick the band at some point.
Oh yeah.
And then it happened.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, I was like, I'm glad that I manifested that because they just kept playing Wild Thing the whole time. Yeah. And was it both of the Young Bucks that kicked the singer or one of them?
Yeah.
I don't know, but they got super kicked and they stopped playing, and then they just kept on fighting. Yeah. So very good shit. The Big Cock Club.
Big Cock. I remember that show specifically because that was sort of like the end of like all-time great pay-per-views from AEW, in my opinion. I thought most of the other show was weak. I thought that was with that four-way title match, right?
The four-way
with that
title?
fucking ridiculous build where they were just like complaining at each other. And
I remember one of the shows leading up to that, like
the
one
four
of
pillars. The four pillars match,
and
or whatever.
that's where you got the taste of them trying to do what the other guys are doing with each one of them comes out with their whole entrance and they're like, I should get a title match, and the other guy's like, you shouldn't get one.
They could have spent all that time building up the guys winning matches, but no, we're fucking
we're just doing some.
Sorry to be the negative Nancy, but
that match was.
But the fucking Anarchy, those are always a hoot.
Yeah,
they're always a hoot. I think I like.
We watched that right here, and I think we were both kind of just like, nah, this is okay.
It was a hoot. It was a hoot.
But that match was good.
A hoot and a holler.
Yeah, I think what was the? I think I like the first one, right? What was the one where Eddie Kingston came down with the gas can? Was that the first one?
Was that Revolution? That was like a 10-man.
That was the first one. That was the first one.
That was like a 10-man match.
I think I like that one a little more.
I think that was a Revolution.
This one was also really fun. Yeah, because like the guys in it too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's my number 7.
Anthony, what was your number 7? Or if you have any thoughts on this match?
That match is also on my list somewhere.
We'll just speak on it then.
The Anarchy in Arena matches, I love. I think they're on my list every year. I'm pretty sure I put the last year's on my list too. Yeah. I love the hectic style of them, where like the camera's like cutting like every 45 seconds. There's just some other absurd scene that's happening.
There's always shit happening.
So yeah, I love Anarchy in Arena and Stadium Stampede matches. I just love matches like that. But on my number 7, I promise it's the last Roman Reigns match on
okay.
here. I promise.
These are your favorites.
These
are your favorites, not ours. We don't,
I just feel judged by Andy.
No, I don't care what people fucking like.
This guy fucking likes Roman Reigns. He's never coming back.
I don't understand the fucking.
Again.
There's some people I don't understand the appeal of, but that's just me, and I just had to accept it. But I understand the appeal of Roman, and I there's points where I was like, hell yeah, fucking Roman, look at this dude.
Yeah. We got there. For
Shield days.
Yeah, we got there for a minute. Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, well, go ahead with the.
I'm trusting the process that they're gonna bring it home, and him losing the title is actually gonna be a good moment.
That'd be
We'll
sick.
see. But anyway, my number 7 from Elimination Chamber, all the way up in Montreal, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn, the hometown kid. Him bringing back his old theme. The only reason I have it kind of ranked kind of low, which if I had to rewrite the list, I probably would have put it at like 8 or 9. Was like you knew Sami Zayn wasn't going to win. You going into it, like you knew, okay, Roman is not going to drop the belt in the middle of a historic reign the month before WrestleMania. Like that's not going to happen. Then in the moment, like for about 45 seconds, a minute and a half, you were like, wait, are they going to do it? And then you come back down to reality. But anytime a match can get me to that point where I kind of forget where I'm at and I kind of forget all the backstage like news and like, oh, Roman's going to hold the belt for 500,000 days, and as soon as they can get you out of there, even if it's only for like a minute, and they take that spot where like, oh man, you kind of forget everything else. I think that's the essence of a great match. And also, I just wanted to give Sami Zayn his due whenever I can. He's in our top 25 this year, so love Sami Zayn. I hope he has another great year here in 2024, and hopefully win a world championship for real. And actually,
you can win the fake one that they have.
What's the fake one?
The one that Freakin' has right now.
Yeah,
the one. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you could argue that Sami.
I'd be happy with that one.
What's that?
Said he can win that one. I'd be happy with him winning that one.
Sure, a little gold watch.
Yeah.
But you could argue that Sami should have won that one because they could have really built off a cool little program off of that, and it could have been just a short little reign. Obviously, like they're not going to have like Sami Zayn go into WrestleMania and be on like the fucking posters like Like, for how that company is and how fucking polished they are, they're not going to have some scrappy looking guy on their posters for the biggest show of the year. But in between, like, there could have been a really interesting program, because you could have argued that, like, he was the one that kind of revitalized that whole bloodline thing when he joined, and that was probably when it was the most interesting, when he was around doing his shit. But you know,
oh yeah, he totally did. And then when he left, it's stale now.
Yeah.
I'm like, now I'm at the point where I'm waiting for it to end.
Yeah, it just sort of, like, it's been going on.
So yeah, you're totally right there.
It's been going on since what, 2020, 2021, like that whole fucking thing, and it's just rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, like you're catching on to it, and I feel like more people are catching on to it. Like, is this going anywhere? It's like, bro, it hasn't been going anywhere for fucking like 2 years. Like, like they're not, they don't have a fucking plan. Like,
it also doesn't help that the storyline moves like one step like every 6 weeks. I mean, like, he just shows up, he'll cut a promo, and then like, he'll tease something, like somebody will walk backstage and walk by the Bloodline locker room, like,
and by progress, just a different Uso.
Like, I don't even know the next time he's supposed to show up. I don't even know when Roman's supposed to be on TV next. Who knows? Maybe 2025.
So my number 7, it took up a whole page of notes, and I'll try to be brief with it, but there's a lot of fucking story, especially if you're not familiar with it. Came from July 15th. Pro Wrestling Noah did host the show, but in like hindsight now, it's like a different promotions kind of like deal, which I'll get into. But it was at their one night dream show in Kirikan Hall. It was Katsuhiko Nakajima versus Kento Miyahara. Now these guys were trained by Kensuke Sasaki, and if you don't know, there's talk of they had like real issues with each other, with Nakajima having seniority over Miyahara back when they were training, and both of those guys were involved with there's a great feud, if no one's ever checked it out, the Kensuke office versus Burning, which was Kenta Kobachi's stable. It was like 2008 or something, but and those guys, Nakajima and Miyahara, would tag together sporadically a few times, but past, let's see, the Muda retirement show, they did a little Noah versus All Japan tag match, like a promotion versus promotion. Nakajima is a former GHC champion. Kento Miyahara is basically, he's the ace of All Japan, essentially. Sorry, Devin. This is why we don't talk about wrestling.
No, you're good.
Podcast. But so they get in the tag match against each other, and it kind of like heats things back up. So it brings back to this match that in July 15th, Nakajima versus Miyahara. And it was fucking rocked. Nakajima is like a fucking shitbag sometimes. I mean, there's some points where he actually took things in his own control and knocked some people out for real, just because he felt like that was the appropriate thing to do. And he's got his hands slapped over it. Kento Miyahara, of course, Triple Crown champion several times. Also had a great year. Another tag team of the year contender, Miyahara and Yumo Aoyagi. And Aoyagi being a Triple Crown champion for a good bit of the year. I think, well, he beat Nagata. So All Japan's been like a company or a promotion that like I kind of would like go in and out of, just my interests. Like they didn't really have much to sink your teeth into, but this year has been like a completely different story. Just like a healthy use of outsiders like Suzuki earlier in the year, Kojima, Naruki Doi with the junior title. I think Onita popped up a few times as well. And with a lot of young guys on the bench like Yuma Anzai, who fucking else? Amori, Ryuki Honda. So they're building up, and they've been growing exponentially with their attendance, and it's a really exciting time to get into some All Japan actually. This match, they fucking Nakajima being a shit ass, Kento eating up the fucking crowd, which I love, and Nakajima beating him And then later on, actually, Miyahara challenged for the Triple Crown against Aoyagi, and he lost that challenge. Nakajima comes out, and he's basically jumped ship to All Japan now. So what I meant earlier is that this is now just more of an All Japan focused feud. And actually, the rematch is in, I think, 7 or 8 hours from now.
Oh, wow.
So really looking forward to that, their New Year Eve show. So I think that's enough said on that. I think if you know, you know. If you don't know, fucking
better set your alarm.
Get fucking knowing. You know, that's all I'll say about that.
Exactly.
All right, Devin, what was your number 6?
Number 6, Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada at AEW New Japan's Forbidden Door.
Hell yeah, dude.
That was a very sick match. I know that was that the first time either of them had stepped in the ring with one another. And I know that was pretty hyped up.
Yep.
They called it a dream match. I know some about Okada. I've seen some of his stuff based on like what you've shown me in the past, and I always thought he was pretty cool. Plus,
yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
I know you like him. And Bryan Danielson won this with a broken arm, which is insane.
Well, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
It was a great match, I thought.
It was a very great match.
And there's going to be a rematch.
There is going to be a rematch. I saw that
week?
earlier.
Next week.
What is that? Is that at Wrestle Kingdom?
In the fucking dome, baby.
Yep.
Get hyped.
I thought Bryan Danielson was still injured. Maybe he is, but like he's wrestling through it, I guess. I don't know. I thought I saw something recently.
Oh, he's still hurt. He's like beat up, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's like 100 years old.
He's always hurt.
You know, he's actually
he's just constantly injured.
He's only 27.
He's only poor guy.
Yeah. Anthony, you have any thoughts on Danielson versus Okada?
Yeah, I remember watching that. I remember being really hyped for it because, like Devin, I know Okada. Obviously, you know I've been doing a pro wrestling podcast for like 2 years, so I absolutely know of Okada. But I can probably count on one hand how many matches I've actually watched of his, and that was one of them. I remember watching. At least I watched live. I think that was my first time watching him live. Somebody I wish I could see more of, obviously, and I'll definitely be tuned in to watch him Wrestle Kingdom, seeing the rematch. Because hopefully Bryan stays healthy during the whole thing. Because that match was so they were building up to something, and then that move he took where he broke his arm, it kind of just like derailed the whole thing. They kind of had to like improvise and get to the finish that way. But so I'm hoping to see a fully healthy match from both of them.
Yeah, I think it was. See, I remember when that fucking bell rang. I mean, I had fucking goosebumps. But and I do agree that like it was like a little disappointing like towards the end. But like the whole other bulk of that match is just like these two fucking pros.
Yeah.
Who get in there and know what they're doing. Don't fucking think about it and just fucking work. And it was a fun time. I'm excited for the rematch.
It's gonna be a good one.
So, what are we on? 6?
6.
Yeah. Okay, Anthony.
6. My number 6 was Jon Moxley versus Adam Page, the Texas Death Match from Revolution 23.
Hell yeah.
The other Texas match that Adam Page had, fucking, I love blood and guts, dude. The match too, and actual blood and guts. Just seeing Moxley tap out after being like actually like hanged off the side of the ring, like that moment itself kind of solidified the top 10 for me. I kind of watching it in the moment, and then them just doing just the most bonkers shit. I think that was. I know Moxley has a lot of matches with forks, but I know he brought the fork out in that match and started stabbing.
He's always got that thing.
He doesn't fork around.
He's always got. Renee went into the kitchen during the match and like opened it up and like, wait, where all my forks
an inventory of the silverware just in case. Yeah, that's rather what is that? That's bad from us because we're assigning a woman to go to the kitchen. So sorry.
God damn it.
Oops.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm getting Windley Man.
This is the canceled podcast.
Tug of the fucking collar.
More like misogyny mania.
Jesus. Yeah. No, that match fucking rocked. I mean, the fucking spot he fucking wraps around the body barbed wire.
Yeah.
The fucking moonsault. Those are the fucking. I mean, for me, like I get more into matches like more on a competition stance when two guys are like fighting to fucking win, and whenever there is like matches built around like personal feuds, I want it to go to the fucking all. I want them to be pissed off at each other. I want them to fucking kill each other.
Yeah.
And that's like what this built up to. And yeah, that match fucking rocked. Yeah, absolutely.
If I can just go ahead and say
awesome.
that match is my number.
I know the hardcore style.
You'll get to it.
That's on here.
It's on here. Okay.
Yeah. I know if you want me to go ahead and talk about it.
We'll talk to it. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like we're getting to the point where we might have similar matches.
Yeah,
we're getting up in the list.
Yeah.
So my number 6 came from May 23rd. It was a New Japan Pro Wrestling match. It was the Best of the Super Juniors final, baby, between Master Wato, my boy, and Teton. Now, in the Oda City General Gymnasium there in Tokyo, by the way. It's a cool little building. Never been.
You've been there?
No, never been.
You built it?
I didn't build it. But yeah, Master Wato, I mean, okay, so this match, I feel like I was more so attached to it and into it because of Teton's performance. Teton, a guy, CMLL. Mm-hmm. He's not unfamiliar with work in Japan. He's actually in LIJ now, joined this year. But he just, again, with the fiery baby face, fucking eating up the crowd, doing like incredible shit, fast paced. Like that's the shit I could sink my teeth into as well. Master Wato is a guy that I've always kind of like tried to defend, but he's like a guy who's undefendable at most points. I mean, when he was Hirai Kawato back in the Young Lion days, he was like a guy, I was among the people that really attached myself to him. Just like you could kind of see something like, oh, this guy could be a great addition to the junior division. He came back during the pandemic and he has his fucking hair blue and shit, and he's called Master Wato out of all things. Mm-hmm. It's not very appealing. And there's definitely like a confidence issue. There's a lot of slop in most of his matches, but I don't know. He fucking held his own here, I think. And with the aftermath of this match, you really wish Master Wato won the match and won the Best of the Super Juniors final. And a weird point about that is this is like a long time in a while where someone's won. I think Chris Charlton actually mentioned this on a show recently, where it's like someone who won the Super Juniors final not having a spot on the Tokyo Dome show, mm-hmm. which is very not regular, as he put it. I kind of wish that they're trying to do this thing with Hiromu with the reigns and stuff. I feel like we've kind of already established Hiromu as the junior ace. You really wish maybe Teton could have won and we could have done something a little more interesting, because the second half of Hiromu's year for me hasn't been great. And I'm excited for the Desperado match coming up next week, but all in all, it's something. This match was fucking great, and then I kind of wish things were different about the aftermath, in a sense. So, yeah, that's my general thoughts about it. I had to bring up something fucking negative about it. I'm sorry, I had to. But yeah, great match. Teton's fucking all time performance from Teton. So, go ahead with your number 5. There,
I'll have to check all of these matches out. Number 5, Bryan Danielson again, this time versus MJF. The 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Title at Revolution. March. For me, that one was like, because MJF always just kind of like, he wasn't really defending his title a lot. And this was the first time he had to actually really, really wrestle for it for an hour straight, I think.
Let's see, where?
Because he kind of just like up until then he wasn't really.
Well, he won it. Let's see.
He won it like September or something.
Yeah,
he won it from. It was the All Out show. He won it from Moxley.
Okay, and then he defended against Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
This was kind of the start of him defending it more, I guess, and the first time you really kind of got to see him do a whole lot of shit that you probably didn't think he could really do. At least I didn't really know, but I knew he could wrestle. But this time you really get to see it. And I thought it was a really cool match. And then ended in a draw, and then of course, oh, what the fuck, it ended in a draw, and then they say, all right, it's sudden death, and he ended up winning. Of course, he never wins clean.
Yeah.
So, but yes, very cool match. It was cool to see Bryan Danielson up against him for that too. I kind of hoped he'd win, but
sure. You have any thoughts on that, Anthony? Because I have thoughts.
Yeah,
I have.
Yeah, me too.
You have thoughts? You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I was hoping Danielson would win too. I love Bryan Danielson. I don't know if you can see him back there. I have him hang up on the wall back there. I love him. MJF's around there too somewhere. I think he's up there. MJF's up there. But yeah, I think that was the match for a lot of people. I knew. I think all of us here knew that MJF can actually fucking wrestle like that. But I feel like that was the first time some people were like, "Holy shit, fucking." MJF's a world champion fucking wrestler.
Right. It was,
oh my god.
Cool to see that.
I also have that match in my top 10 list coming up here. Excellent fucking match. Now the debate is it better than Bret Shawn? WrestleMania 12.
Yes. No. I don't know. I think it's two different eras, two different matches entirely.
I know. I remember that was the big debate coming out of it. I'll say yes because I wasn't live to watch Bret versus Shawn at 12.
You haven't watched it still?
And going back and watching it now it's not fair. What?
The thing with MJF, the wrestling thing. If you go back and watch some of his stuff from like Create a Pro, MLW, he's a guy that had fucking 2 left feet. It really clicked with me back in fucking 2020. He had a match against Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing. I think it was an empty arena. It was at fucking Daly's place. Forgot what year it was. But that was when it really clicked with me. I was like, and this was years ago. So it's like, okay, now this guy is making a fucking effort to, he's got the mouth right? He's doing the promos and shit. Now he's making an effort to doing that. So really, since that match, I've never really had a doubt about his abilities. Personally speaking, and this was a great balance of his work and his character work as well with the Danielson match. I mean, Danielson was always going to be reliable because he's fucking Bryan Danielson, and in a bell to bell aspect. And MJF, I didn't really have any doubts that he would like not keep up in a sense.
No, I had doubts.
And I think, and plus the added layer of his character work, the restart of the match, like in the moment, I think it took me out a little bit, just because I don't know, like restarts never really have done anything for me personally. But it was like. It took me out, but also I was like, I want to see fucking Bryan win. So it kind of worked in a sense. But, it was a great match.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, at that point, I didn't really know what was going to happen when they restarted it. Like, this could really go either way. But yeah, I never doubted him in any way. I was just like, it was just to see him.
It sounded like a lot of doubt.
It was no doubt. It was just kind of like see him for that long do the thing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Where
were we at? Number 5, Anthony, I believe.
That was
number 5. We're on number 5.
Number 5.
I have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos from Mania Night 1. Just a feel good ending there. I always thought, ever since I heard it for the first time, it's been doing it in like the 2K video games. Having Sami Zayn's theme like end of WrestleMania, I think it's just perfect. So that's why I said number 5 for me. Just that moment at the end, just them celebrating, hugging, the confetti coming down, and the Worlds Apart theme playing. I think that's an all-time moment, and it's also a great match. I think it's one of. I know they've had a couple this year, but on Dave Meltzer's star rating scale, it's one of very few WWE matches in recent history. It's received 5-star from Dave Meltzer, and the other one from that night's also on my list here coming up. But a great I think a great main event. I never thought the tag team championships could main event a WrestleMania, and they did it. I think they blew it out of the water.
Yeah, I liked that match a lot.
I didn't see.
I've
always liked Kevin Owens.
I like the Usos as a tag team. But yeah, I like that match.
I think the Usos, they're like among like hardcore wrestling fans. Maybe it's not fair to say. I feel like they do get their due, but I don't think they get their due enough. I think just because they work for where they work, I don't think they get the proper recognition they deserve. They do get recognition. I'll take it back a little bit, but I think they'll go down. They'll be remembered as one of the all-time greats. Major love for the Usos.
Actually, one of my favorite tag matches I watched live was an Usos match. Like, I don't know, they just fucking went on that night. It was against Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable.
Was that the one in Florence?
Yeah, I don't know. It was somewhere. I don't know. They just gave him like fucking 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and they like turned it on, and I was like, holy shit! Like, I was like, they were fucking rocking. So yeah.
I love Jimmy Uso. I think he's gotten 2 DUIs in the city limits of Detroit. So
do they both have DUIs?
I lose track
because that's how I would differentiate. Like,
I think so. Yeah,
one would be like the
but
DUI.
Jimmy has like 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. They both have it now.
Alone. Like, he's gotten arrested twice here.
It happened there.
They sent him to the Uso penitentiary.
We always get
It happened in Detroit,
who gets arrested here?
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy. Yeah.
Jeff Hardy likes to party hardy in Myrtle.
Yeah.
I remember
Jeff Hardy's you could probably find him right now.
We were
if you walked outside and walked around enough, he's probably just walking around with his armbands on.
We were in line at what was that? That was Fight for the Fall in 2019. We were in line in the Florida sweltering heat, waiting to get in, and I looked at my phone on like Facebook or something, and I saw that Jeff Hardy had gotten arrested for like public intoxication, like right here, like on the boulevard or something. Probably, I imagine, doing God knows what. But like it was like the talk of the town for that day. Amongst the people on my friends list that knew who he was.
Yeah, I always get like the fucking a screenshot
yeah.
of whenever something locally like that happens. So where are we at? Number 5? Number 5, my match comes from June 25th. The AEW / New Japan Pro Wrestling. The Forbidden Door 2. The Scotiabank Arena up there in Toronto. You ever been to Canada, Anthony? You're pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally, I can't see it now because it's on the other side of my apartment. I don't have a window over there. But if I looked out like that side, if I go to the apartment over there and look out the window, like Canada's right there.
Sick.
That's crazy.
Imagine Canada being right there.
Detroit and Canada are like right there.
Yeah. Okay.
I swore, I know if I told you on the podcast, I might have told you off the air. Like the last time they did this whole thing a couple years ago. It still irks me. They did this thing. All the Canadians lined up on the border, like across the river, and like mooned us.
That's amazing.
Had like 100 or 200 people. They all just lined up and like showed their asses to us. It was absurd. I remember
That's
that.
hilarious.
It pissed me off. I want to get them back. But it was like a declaration of war.
All right, so my number match. Obviously, number 5 match. Again, all that shit I said. The second meeting, well, not the second all time, but this year. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega 2 this year. Mm-hmm. Which is weird that we like in my brain I refer to 2, but this is like number 3 or 4 technically.
Yeah,
I think it's 3 because I think it only meant what PW. Anyways, hey man. This fucking match rocked.
It's on my list too.
Some of the Don Callis stuff didn't really land with me. Some of the over the top melancholy-esque, not melancholy, but just some of the fucking interference stuff didn't really land with me all the way. But I mean, everything else around it was just like all-time great fucking shit. I mean, fucking. The spicy Benoit stuff that
that did happen.
And I don't know, man. I feel like this is a match that has enough notoriety that I can kind of just leave it as it is. I guess the one thought I have about Will Ospreay right now, I mean, he's going to be in AEW full time, I guess. I imagine he'll be able to do outside dates. I'm wondering how prepared like people are ready to see like a Will Ospreay working in an American promotion, how AEW is structured. And what I mean by that is not necessarily like the matches, but like there's been some really like over the top storyline stuff or in his day or the angles he'll try to do or programs like the when he fucking gave the os cutter to his at the time girlfriend, which was very awkward. The fucking crazy ass promo he cut like at what was that, Resurgence? This was a couple of years ago. Countless other things. Oh, the Rev Pro match against Michael Oku where he's going after the guy's girlfriend. I mean, I'm kind of wondering if some of that stuff, some of the more over the top, uncomfortable things are going to stick around when he's in AEW. And I'm really curious to see how people react to it. Personally, like, I guess you could call it distasteful in a sense. I don't really give a fuck because like pro wrestling itself in essence is a very trashy thing. And you look in the past, you kind of have to embrace some of the trashiness. Like one of the greatest all time angles, the fucking I'd like to talk to Tom, which we kind of recreated last year. So I'm really interested in this aspect of Ospreay on AEW TV more regularly. But yes, that match fucking rocked. I think we were all hooting and hollering in the theater.
We were.
Like that shit was fucking awesome.
That was crazy.
So where are we at? Number 4, Devin?
Yeah, my number 4, Anthony just mentioned Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page, the Texas Death Match at AEW Revolution.
Fuck yeah. Do you have any more?
No. I yield the remainder of my time. I have to go piss.
Okay. All right, Anthony, it's just me and you.
My number 4, it's kind of the same thing. I had the Anarchy in the Arena match at number 4 with the BCC and the Elite. And I feel like I said everything I needed to say about it already. I love the chaos of that. But real quick before we move on, I do agree with you on the Will Ospreay thing. It's gonna be really interesting to see how he connects with more of the mainstream audience over here in the United States. But on the other hand, I always say I don't think AEW or even WWE to an extent should cater to people that don't watch the product.
Hell yeah, brother! Hell yeah! Fuck yeah! I agree.
Like why the fuck are we like trying to like it's a TV show, all right, that happens on Breaking Bad or whatever, Game of Thrones, like where shit's happen. Like this is a TV show. These people aren't watching it, and if they do see it, it's gonna be like a 15-second clip out of context on Twitter or Facebook, and they're gonna be pissed off about it anyway. But they weren't gonna watch, so let's stop fucking catering to him. Let's have him do whatever the hell he wants.
Sure,
I love Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
He's somebody I'm excited to actually be over here in the United States more because he's one of those people I want to watch his shit, but it's like if it's not in my automatic like viewing vicinity, like it's hard for me to get to it, and I don't have a lot of time to go out of my way for it. So hopefully I can see more Will Ospreay. Love that man. But other than that, yeah, my number 4 was Anarchy in the Arena. Already said all I can say about it. Like Devin, I yield the rest of my time, Mr. Speaker.
Well, that gives me enough time to talk about my number 4. On the topic of Will Ospreay, my number 4 comes from August 12th, New Japan Pro Wrestling, the G1 Climax 33, Night 18. We're getting to the semifinals over there in the Ryogoku Sumo Hall. Wonderful building, unless you're a giant, apparently. I've heard that it's very hard. Well, most of these buildings very hard to sit in, but I heard of someone who is taller than me and larger than me having to sit down crisscross applesauce upstairs on the floor, which does not sound appealing at all.
Well, that's their culture, right? Like you go over there, you gotta expect it.
Well, just like everything, I guess just the people are smaller over there. Like actually, there's the new English commentator for New Japan, Walker Stewart. He's a massive dude, and he was actually talking about it in an interview, just like him in the shower at the hotel room, just fucking his head like hitting the fucking ceiling and shit, just like yeah. Anyways,
it's like Will Ferrell and Elf.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so my number 4 was Will Ospreay versus Tetsuya Naito in the semifinals of the G1, representing the B and D blocks. This is their third singles meeting together. I had both of their matches last year in my top 10, which was also a G1 semifinal, and then they had the rematch at that, I think it was Battle Autumn. Was that, what building was that? Who cares? But yeah, this again, this was like just upping the fucking intensity. I feel like towards the end, the closing stretch of this match was really unlike anything I've seen this year. Most notably because Naito gets knocked out for real. And I can understand if that kind of takes you out of the match, because you can fucking hear Ospreay going like, "You can do it, Naito. Get up. You can stand up." And the commentary team cleverly turning that into like shit talking.
Oh, yeah.
So, but you can hear him calling spots and stuff because Naito gets knocked the fuck out. But this, I mean, I feel like if that didn't happen, this would have been something truly, I mean, it still is a very truly special match, I feel. But if that didn't occur, I feel like it would have even more special.
Yeah.
But yeah, just incredible shit. And also, I mean, he gets knocked out, and you can kind of, he like limps over and he fucking trips and falls. And to be honest, like the way Naito, or the way Ospreay like can work with the person who's fucking knocked loopy is like, I mean, this, I don't know who else can fucking do that shit where it's like still keeping up the pace and just working around him in that state. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like any three of us could have at least like a 3.25, maybe even higher star match with Will Ospreay. It's like, just like, this dude's fucking insane. But yeah, so I guess we're moving on. We're getting to the fucking nitty gritty here. Nitty-gritty. Number 3, Devin.
All right, y'all are gonna see that I kind of just cheated.
Oh,
in a sense.
Okay.
Because it's like some of the same matchups.
Okay.
Because this is the Golden Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club at AEW Blood and Guts.
Oh, okay. I have thoughts about this, but go ahead.
Yes. Very sick, of course. You know, Blood and Guts. And then they definitely delivered on that. I believe there was the spot where Moxley was on the nail bed, and
yeah.
Kota Ibushi, you know, what does he do? He has like a standing
moonsault.
Yeah. On top of him on that, and you know the Bucks doing shit on top of the cage, all the crazy stuff that you want to see in that type of match, and they absolutely delivered on it. And it was on fucking TV. It wasn't even a pay-per-view. It was just on TV. And I really liked it a lot. It was hard for me to, like I said earlier, like putting these like in an order of like favorite. They're all my favorite. They're all my number 1 match.
Okay.
So it's hard to really like,
that's fair,
put them, like compare them in that sense. But I really enjoyed that one. And yeah, that's my number 3.
Anthony, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I love the Blood and Guts matches. Now, my fiance, she also watches wrestling with us. She's a big wrestling fan too. I kind of converted her in our during the course of our relationship. But she's now watched 2 Blood and Guts matches. One live. We went to one in Detroit.
That's right.
Here,
yeah.
That first one.
That's sick.
And it was incredible. She doesn't like the blood and like the crazy like violent stuff. It grosses her out, so she had to sit through that and watch it. And I have a video of her, like her face the whole time is like, she's like, her hands are like half covering her face, and she like would look down like every like 30 seconds. But we watched the second one together at her mom's house, I believe, because our little brother he's a big wrestling fan too. When we were watching it, and it's the same thing. Like my only memories I have of that match is like I'm doing this, like turning back and forth, and just watching her reaction to, like you said, like the nail bed thing and all the crazy spots from the top of the cage, and just seeing how gross it can get, and then looking over and seeing if she's watching or not.
My girlfriend hates crying in wrestling.
She hates crying.
She made me fucking die one time because it was I forgot what show it was. This was a while ago, but they showed a clip of the famous Wrestle Kingdom 9 aftermath where Okada lost to Tanahashi and he's leaving the ring crying.
Oh.
She goes, "What a fucking baby." And then anytime, like, it depends on the match, but anytime there's crying, she's like, "Oh, what the fuck, the crying?" But, so, yeah.
What a fucking
my kind of gal.
My fiance is the opposite. My fiance is the opposite. She's a total softie. She'll, like, if they're crying during the match, she'll start crying too, and she'll be like, "Oh my god!" Did
you show her like fucking like Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels?
It's the exact.
I'm sorry, I love you.
Did you show her that?
Oh, yeah, I will have to. I don't think she's seen that yet, but she'll probably cry. I can make her cry with that one. I'll show her the video package before and after. The leave the memories alone.
Yeah. So what was number 3? Your Blood and Guts.
Yep.
Oh yeah. The fucking. I'll just touch on 2 things about that match. Fucking John Moxley coming out with a Jun Kasai shirt signed by him. That fucking rocked. And then Kota Ibushi, his match. He looked fucking terrible. I thought.
Yeah, we did talk about him. He wasn't as great as we probably wanted,
because he came back and he had that Bloodsport match, which was fine. It was just like a little Bloodsport match. Then he had that fucking awful match with Joey Janela, and then he just looked off, and he's been looking off, especially in Wembley. That match, he just looked completely lost.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on with the guy. I'm really he's supposed to have a match with Marufuji for the Noah New Year show, so I'm wondering what that's going to look like. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, you can't go wrong with those fucking matches. I mean,
oh yeah, they always deliver every time.
So, Anthony, you're number 3.
Yeah, my number 3 alluded to it earlier. The only other 5-star match from Dave Meltzer from that night, from WrestleMania 39, the Gunther Drew Sheamus triple threat for the IC title. Just big men doing big men things, slapping the shit out of each other, slapping meats. This is more of like a Gunther love for me. Gunther and Walter, or whatever you want to call them. I'm so partial to Walter a little bit.
That's the better name, but I refer to him as Gunther now. I've accepted it. Although I do have a shirt that says Walter really big on it. I have one of like the Rev Pro shirts that I can't wear because there's like 30 like canceled people on the back.
Oh god,
that's like the match lineup. But on the front it says Walter versus Tomohiro Ishii. The back, however, says otherwise things that redacted
versus redacted.
So, but yeah, that match fucking rocks. I agree. I love all 3 of those guys. Especially, I'm a big. I think we talked about this last year. I fucking love the Sheamus. I love the Sheamus. Mm-hmm. Like I fucking dude. Yeah. And Drew McIntyre gives a lot of effort too.
He's really come around the past few years.
I've always enjoyed him. I just lays it in the fucking bar. And then the only thing about Gunther, if he's gonna keep this fucking name, the fucking thumb, if he's gonna keep this name, I just want him to be fat again. Oh my god, when he was fat, that shit fucking rocked.
Because he's like cut now.
What was that?
Right?
That WrestleMania weekend? I think it was like 2016, 2017. When he just fucking like came into the fucking scene, and this fat German motherfucker, or is he Austrian? I don't know, man. But that guy rocks. Yeah, love him. That match rocked too.
Yeah, he's
did
awesome.
You watch that, Devin?
I did not.
Oh. I am glad he changed his I'm glad they changed his name though to Gunther though, because every time I heard Walter, I don't know if you guys watched Breaking Bad,
Walter.
but there's the meme of Mike Ehrmantraut just going Walter.
Yeah. I think of Jeff Dunham, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, yeah. The pub. Yeah. I hate my wife.
So any more thoughts on that?
No, just big meaty men doing big meaty things. Love them.
Oh yeah, number 3.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where
we get real.
Business. My number 3 comes from November 11th, New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Power Struggle show over there at the Edion Arena, Osaka, old Bodymaker Gymnasium, as they called it. Or was that the second one they would call the Bodymaker?
Couldn't tell you if you had a gun to my head.
I think on Edion number 2 was the Bodymaker. Huh. Anyways, this was the IWGP US, I think /UK Heavyweight Championship. I haven't watched it since it happened, but Will Ospreay versus Shota Umino. Of course, Will Ospreay. By the end of this, it's going to be obvious he's my contender for Wrestler of the Year and Luthez Ric Flair award as well. Like, dude, it's just everyone's got their opinions on him. I understand, but Jesus fucking, like, you got to look at it objectively at some points, folks. Like, this shit, like this fucking past since 2019 has just been insane, and I think this has been like probably the peak of that development of his. But this match in particular with Shota Umino, you guys might know Shota Umino as Shooter, maybe John Moxley's little buddy.
I think I've seen him in something, yeah.
That's like the one aspect of the whole thing that I'm kind of like a little sick of, to be honest, but I kind of wish he would move past it. But at the same time, I don't really give a shit that much. But Shota Umino, he was on excursion over there in Rev Pro, and he kind of disappeared for a long while, especially during the pandemic. And then he came back, and he looked like fucking shit. He just was like, he just did not look great. His fucking like tights were like just falling off, and you can see his ass and shit. Just, he did not look like what was all the potential there he had when he was a young lion. But there's been some like promising moments. He said this is his 4th match against Will Ospreay. There was a couple that were not particularly great. In fact, Umino was a guy that like he came back to New Japan, and I was just like, I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like I got to see more from him. He main evented a show in Sapporo back in February against Naito, and that was just dull as dirt, man. It was just nothing there, and I just couldn't sink my teeth into this guy. But I don't know. I feel like the G1 helped him a good bit. Just working more consistently, singles matches, and he's really developed this year, and I feel like this is like a huge step in this guy's development, this match against Ospreay. It was they gave him a fucking lot of time. It was 40 minutes. I mean, you're in there with Ospreay, of course, you got that cheat code working for you. I mean, but to fill the time for 40 minutes, they kind of built off their previous matches as well. They had the whole thing where Ospreay was like, hey man, you need to beat me. I want you to beat me. And, super fucking intense. Dude really turned it on. I thought fucking looked like he wanted to fucking kill the guy. Blood coming out of the mouth. Fucking shit was sick. So, that's my number 3.
Hell yeah.
I can listen to you talk about wrestling like all day.
What?
I can listen to you talk about wrestling like all day.
Oh, thank you.
Because like
I don't want to start a podcast. I thought about it a couple times, but I can't do it.
You made the Instagram page as far as it got.
I recorded an episode, and I was like, "This is going to piss off a lot of people." Put
it on the Winley Mania Patreon.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But you guys have any thoughts on that?
I like Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Really like Will Ospreay.
Sick.
So much that he's in my number 2.
Hell yeah, number 2. Moving along.
This is the match that you already brought up.
Oh.
Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door.
Hell yeah, dude.
And yeah, that match was fucking sick. There was Ospreay did the one-winged angel on Omega, and he kicked out. He's like, "Fuck you." That was fucking sick, and everyone in the theater loved that.
Oh yeah,
everybody loved that.
Fucking pacing.
Yes.
Oh my god.
But yes, that match ruled really hard.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really say more than what you've already said about it, so I will.
I don't even remember what I said. I feel like
you said quite a bit.
Okay. Anthony, you have any other thoughts on that one?
Yeah, more Will Ospreay worship on the podcast.
Yeah, this could just quickly turn into the Will Ospreay.
Okay. I love cats, man. I think. Oh my god!
A cat has infiltrated the podcast.
Meow meow meow.
He's trying to get out, but I cannot let him out because I'm moving on to my number 2.
All right,
number 2, it's one that Devin said earlier. MJF versus Bryan Danielson, the 60-minute Iron Man match. One of my favorite matches of the year. Obviously, it's my number 2, but like I said, I thought it was the arrival, like fully rival for everybody of MJF. And then the tease of potentially having Bryan Danielson AEW World Championship run. Like for me personally, that's something I really want to see. Because Bryan Danielson is probably he's in my top 5 of all time like favorite performers ever. I love that guy. I'm very sad he's going to retire soon. So I'm not looking forward to that.
I almost forget that that's happening.
Yeah, he did confirm that, right?
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be one of those things where the dude never retires.
Yeah. Got to see him a couple times.
Yeah.
So,
But I imagine he'll retire, quote unquote, and then he'll
there you go.
Very soon unretire.
I don't know. Maybe.
Hey, see, maybe he'll give his body a rest. He's definitely, needs to.
I don't fucking tell anyone what to do with their body, bro.
I mean, I feel like he should for his own.
I don't. I'm no safety police.
I'm not a safety police.
Drop yourself on the fucking neck. I want to fucking see it.
You want to see that?
Yeah.
I don't want to see him die.
I don't want to see anyone die. Of course, no. Stay safe out there. But also, fucking.
I mean, do whatever you want.
Dump some dude on their fucking neck.
Yeah.
Here and then.
I don't.
Healthy doses.
Yeah, healthy doses of.
Andy, big Ridge Holland fan.
Hey man, I can't believe people were like, I don't like NXT at all. I think it's like the fucking dregs of fucking horse shit. But I can't believe people were upset. It's a fucking work. Like, oh my god. Like, I don't know. Who cares? Anyways, am I on my number 2 now?
You're on your number 2.
Let's see. Number 2 comes from May 4th. Big Japan Pro Wrestling, boys. Hell yeah. Did you know there's a Big Japan? I think I mentioned
Big Japan. I think it was a Big Japan match you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I don't imagine you guys subscribe to BJW Core.
I know that you love BJW Core.
Or whatever the website. I don't subscribe to it either.
BJ Core.
I'm sorry, Big Japan. I pirate your shit because I don't watch the promotion that often. But when I do, I love to sink my teeth into
BJ.
Their strong division, which I do love BJ's.
Their BJ strong division.
Oh, I'll get on some BJ's in a minute with context of this match, my friend. Okay, but if you're not familiar with Big Japan, it's famous for their death matches. I would say, but they do have their strong division, which is more traditional pro wrestling, and I really like when Shuji Ishikawa was over there doing that stuff. That was a few years ago. Loved that. But anyways, this match in particular was at their May show. The Endless Survivor. This was the BJW World Strong Heavyweight Championship match. The defending champion Yuji Okabayashi loses it to the younger Yuya Aoki. You want to talk about hosses? We talked about the fucking Walter. Okabayashi he's like up there in the hosses of hosses, my friend. He's a big motherfucker, and he's had this reign he's been on. It started New Year's, I think 2022, and it's very satisfying reign, I thought. Some great matches here and there. He also is part of the tag team with Daisuke Sekimoto. Get this, great name, Strong BJ.
Strong BJ.
Yeah, I fucking love some Strong BJ. Yuya Aoki, I think this is his second time challenging for the Strong title. He came close into some tournaments, but he kind of like it fell through. I forgot how he got this title shot, but the way they built up to it was kind of interesting. They had just Strong BJ defeat Aoki with a string of different partners, and they were just kind of like decimating him. And this match was like, all right, Aoki is fucking tired of this fucking shit, and God, this is a match. I gotta fucking stand up almost, dude. I don't know.
Oh no.
I can, if you want to watch this shit and you haven't seen it, I'll hook you up, man. But fucking again, the fiery fucking babyface shit. I eat that shit up. Aoki is fucking in there, throwing his fucking body around on this big motherfucker. This big motherfucker's gonna have to deal with his counters, his fucking cunning, and just him throwing his fucking body, bleeding out of the fucking mouth. They're just slamming god fucking big bombs at each other. Oh my, this is the fucking shit I want out of this fucking sport, okay? So this shit, I've been thinking about it since May, obviously, and it's just, it was an incredible match. I mean, there's, I know maybe Big Japan isn't like a very prominent promotion with you guys, but I would highly recommend this match. So
okay, man,
it gets me fucking worked up.
Okay, man,
it fucking rocked. Like
okay,
I was just, and it was unexpected because Big Japan I kind of pop in and out of, and then I hear, oh, the Strong title match was pretty good. This Yokohama show. Okay, you put it on. You're fucking pacing. You're pacing in the fucking room.
I have seen you pace,
and it's like, oh, you're fucking Jesus fucking Christ, slamming the fucking shit out of each other. Yeah, dude. I fucking love it.
That should be like your version of a notebook, like your pacer test, your pacer test journal of what you've paced to.
All right, so we're moving on to the big one.
Rule number one.
By default would be, I guess, your match of the year. I know my number one is my 2023 match of the year, so I imagine that's agreed upon with you guys that your number one is also your match of the year.
This would have to be my match of the year.
All right, Devin.
The first wrestling match I watched this year, I think, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's my number one for the year.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot leading up to that, a lot of history between them with that title, and it culminated at Wrestle Kingdom at the beginning of the year, and it fucking kicked ass the whole time, just like the other Will Ospreay Kenny Omega match. Couldn't really decide which one had to rank at number one, so I just put them both right there back to back at 1 and 2. But yeah, that fucking match, even though it was the beginning of the year, it was my favorite match I think I saw the whole year.
Yeah. Anthony, any thoughts on that? Or your number one?
Well, so I kind of cheated. So I put both the Wrestle Kingdom 17 and the Forbidden Door Kenny Omega Will Ospreay match at 1. Because like Devin, it's hard for me to pick which one I would put at 1 and 2. So I'm like, F it, I'll just put both of them at 1, and then I'll just come up with 9 other ones. So yeah, like, and Andy, honestly, I think we said it when we recorded the last one that this match would probably end up being number 1, and now it's here. It's just one of those things where you see it on paper and you're like, yep, that's a banger. Like, no matter what happens in that match, like we're gonna love it. So, yeah, and obviously more Will Ospreay love talk here. This is, I don't think this is a top 10 match podcast. It's a Will Ospreay podcast.
It's Will Ospreay mania.
Will
Some
Ospreay
people
mania.
might not like that.
Let's get him on here. Let's get Will Ospreay as a guest on here.
Yeah,
bro.
We add him to the Zoom.
Yeah. I talk about some fucking Nando's with this dude. I love Nando's. I know he likes Nando's.
We got Nando's sauce in the fridge.
I got some too.
Yeah, that Nando's sauce is awesome.
Nando's rocks.
It's awesome. I never went. I was in DC. We didn't go to Nando's though. That's where you said you went.
Yeah. That was like I didn't really know like it wasn't on my mind to go there when I went, but when we went, I saw Nando's on the map, and I was like, we got to go to Nando's. I never had it. It fucking rocked. Yeah. So your number one is 2 matches. So which one do you like better?
My number one is 2 matches. If you had to like put a gun to me, I'd have to do the Forbidden Door one because that's the one I watched live. And I feel like it's cheap. Like okay. I always prefer the ones I watch when it happens. Like even if like one like the Wrestle Kingdom 17 one was better, I'll have to defer to the one I watched live. Okay. That's just how I am. I if I don't see it live, I try not to like act like it's something I was like there to experience because like I know who won when I watched the Wrestle Kingdom 17 one going into it, so that's always kind of like in the back of your mind. Like at least for me, it's kind of like watching a movie with spoilers. Like you know how it's going to end, and you're just trying to still go along for the journey, but you still like, oh, so that's why that happened. But still,
that's understandable.
Amazing fucking matches.
So my number one, my 2023 match of the year. I mean, let's go back to 2020, where this person came into this promotion, and it kind of was a different shift in the promotion, obviously, with the pandemic going on. Mm-hmm. And they proved themselves in a certain light, and they've kind of left a taste at people's mouths, and now the taste is still there. People still talk about this person constantly, although they're not really doing much right now due to something unfortunate. The other person in this match is someone who's been around the world, has won titles in a lot of places, and this was a rematch of sorts. The match happened before, but it didn't truly happen until it happened. And so my match of the year is Taya Valkyrie versus Jade Cargill. No, I'm kidding. Are you fucking kidding me? No. January 4th, Wrestle Kingdom 17, Tokyo Dome, baby. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega for the IWGP.
I love
this fucking match, dude. Like, all right, so yeah, we talked about it last year, the fucking preview going into the fucking dome. And I think the expectations were there. I mean, what the fucking floor was like, all-time great match. I mean, but I feel like this match kind of flipped everything because we didn't just see 2 guys just go in there and do shit. I mean, obviously, they went in there and did some fucking shit, but there was this fucking hatred amongst themselves with it. They wanted to fucking tear each other the fuck apart.
And that's exactly what we want out of wrestling.
Completely my expectation. Like, it just, I don't know. It was just one of those things where it's like, it's hard to grasp what I'm watching right now. And, it's fucking 6:30 in the goddamn morning. The fucking cats are wondering what the fuck is going on. And you're just like, I am watching something that's, it doesn't happen often. Like, you watch something that's like all time, and it feels fucking special and important. And, I don't know, man. These 2 fucking guys. I mean, yeah, and just the added layer of the fucking hatred and, the follow-up I felt leading into Forbidden Door was a little disappointing because Kenny did have a hold of the title. Next night at New Year's Dash, he did come out, and you thought maybe there was going to be some programs built around this title with Kenny. Not necessarily in New Japan. I completely understand that. But, it didn't really follow through, and then finally it gets built back up to this. They could have really booked a bigger building for this shit, I think. But, it is what it is. Match of the year. And it's like, I'm trying to like think comparatively for my matches of the year. And I don't know, like the past few years with the pandemic, it's been a little like just keeping those years like so far in the decade in the conversation, comparing these matches that I had of the year. This one is just like so far is like, all right, this is some fucking real deal shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could gush about it. We all see. I feel like every fan's seen the fucking match. There's nothing much else to really gush about. But yeah. Fuck yeah, that match.
Fuck
That's my
yeah.
match. So yeah,
look at us.
There it is.
The official match of the year apparently is.
Oh yeah, well since
all three of us had the same match, it's the official one.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to. I mean, if your taste varies and that's not your match of the year, I mean that's fine, I guess. But
it's all subjective. Wrestling's subjective. I always try to remember that.
Subjective,
especially
to a point. I feel like because there's some shit out there that I can't believe people are like, yeah, this rocks, but that's just me. I'm fucking mean, all right? I got a fucking attitude.
Yeah.
So, all right, boys. We've wrapped this up. I mean, I don't know what else to talk about. I do have one thing I'd like to talk about, but we'll save that for later. But Anthony, thanks for hanging out with the Winley boys.
Oh, thank you. Again, thank you for having me on. Like I said, I've always loved coming on here, talking wrestling with you, even if it's shitty Hulk Hogan movies or match of the year. So let's try not to go a whole year without doing it again. And then Andy, specifically, I just want to tell you, like while we're on air and on podcasts, just to thank you for all your support over the past year or two, supporting our show. When we launched the Etsy store, you were literally I think the first person to purchase something from the store. Yeah, so something like that'll always be special for me, man. So just a big thank you to you for your support of us, for me and Logan. It means a lot to us. So just a big thank you to you. And any Winley Mania fans out there that do like wrestling, come over and check us out as well. Like I said this last time I was on here, and it hasn't changed. We try not to do weekly wrestling breakdowns because that's just boring. There's a million other shows that do it better. So we try to come up with fun, interesting things to do on the show each week involving the world of wrestling. And the same thing happened in 2024. We're gonna try a bunch of new stuff, see what sticks. So come on over, Pro Wrestling Proverbs on all your social medias and podcasting.
What's the handle? What's the at PW Proverbs?
At PW Proverbs on X, and then Pro Wrestling Proverbs everywhere else.
All right. And then where could people buy your shit? So they can get a nice little notebook like I have.
Nice little. It's on Etsy. It's etsy.com/shop/PWP products. Etsy.com/shop/PWP products. Yeah, we have Logan Scripture notebook. We have koozies, a shot glass, hats, and then some other stuff that needs to be relisted. But we're gonna start adding some more stuff in the new year. We're gonna do a shirt of the month that's kind of unrelated to PWP, but more wrestling related. I think our first one's gonna be the Mandy Rose mug shot, or not Mandy Rose, Liv Morgan. Do the Liv Morgan mug shot. So we're gonna work that
Randy
into some merchandise.
Would you say it was Randy Orton's weed pen? Yeah. The fucking I think I texted you this, but the fucking sassafras Jimmy, that line got me. But
he just drops that sassafras thing way too much. So I don't know. it's ridiculous, but yeah, awesome.
But good job out of you. Hope for another successful year for the Proverb boys.
Oh, you two guys. Congratulations on your new music, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, good job out of you guys. Go, everyone listening, got to go listen to them or else I'll find you. Yeah. Real quick. And yeah, thanks again, Anthony and Logan. Shout out to Logan, the sweet boy. So you guys have a happy new year and thank you. And I'm going to do some talking real quick. I just wanted to I wanted to start off the show with this, but I feel like it's a little too depressing, but also I just wanted to make a shout out of a sorts. How do I do this? So earlier in November, it was announced that I don't know if you guys know him, but I don't know if anyone listening might know this guy, but Tim Finger, he passed away. He had colon cancer, and he was a guy down there in Florida, and he was active in the scene in some sorts, but he also ran a little archive page called 106 North Albany, which was an archive for championship wrestling down in Florida. Championship wrestling from Florida, that territory there, and it's a great YouTube page. But he passed away, and I just wanted to shout him out, and I just want to shout out like all the archivists that I've interacted with, including Tim. And a few years ago, we lost Jamal Hepburn from the Real Hero Archive, and he was a guy that me and countless other fucking people. I mean, that was our go-to guy for a lot of Japanese wrestling when a lot of that stuff wasn't as accessible as it is now. But Roy Lucier, he has like this giant lucha collection, some All Japan, like he has so much shit. Chris from IVP, Monsoon Classic, all these guys, I really appreciate them because there's a lot of stuff out there and someone's got to keep track of it and let it be available to all the people to be able to enjoy a lot of history. So that's all I wanted to say, just to all those guys. So thank you again, Anthony. And Devin.
Andrew.
January 19th.
Yes.
Scenes from a Hack comes out.
Yes.
Next week at Fresh Brewed. Not next week, but January 26th. The EP release show with Windley. Yeah,
and
with
Lunchbox Hero.
Lunchbox Hero from Raleigh.
And Newgrounds
Death Rugby from Charleston. It's going to be January 26th. That's a Friday.
Yes.
It's going to be $10 at the door. 10's the new $5, baby. So you got to be there because it's going to be a fun fucking show.
It's going to be awesome.
And it's going to rock your sock. Just one, not both of them. Sorry.
Yeah, just one. Just prepare to lose at least one sock. Yeah. If you lose the other one, you're welcome.
Yeah. So, and that's all. You got to follow at Windley_band. You have to follow at Myrtle Beach Shows. You got to do all this stuff for us. We're going to have a fucking new year.
It's going to be the newest year that we've ever had.
Yeah.
It's going to be the best 2024.
So, do you have anything else intelligent to say, Tim?
I never do.
All right, let's go watch some wrestling in 10 minutes, all right? Fucking, I'll see you people at the fucking Dome next week.
At the Dome.
Let's go. All right, goodbye.
You going to polish my dome?
Yeah.